Hello everyone, this is Siddhant Jha, and for my personal project, a segment of it is where I interview my sensei, Grandmaster Fong. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm fine, thank you.
I have 17 questions I would like to ask you, and the first is, what do you believe is the most important aspect of Taekwondo and why?
The most important aspect of Taekwondo is basics, structure. Okay, when we learn the basic stance, basic kicks, basic punches, give you the structure that you need, and then you do that throughout your life. So it set you up as good structure. Any other techniques would be building up from the basics. Okay.
Number two, when do you think Taekwondo started to gain traction and popularity among the world?
That's after the Korean War. The Taekwondo started spreading around the world after the Korean War, but I would say beginning in the 80s, 1980s, you will see Taekwondo start to become popular around the world.
Number three, what is the biggest threat to Taekwondo today, or is Taekwondo continuing to reach new peaks, and why?
I think Taekwondo has continued to reach its new peaks. There's a lot of challenges in practicing and in teaching, but there's always new thing to learn. So there's nothing to get bored and if you don't learn, then you don't make progress. So, but there's plenty of technique to continue to learn. So I don't think there's issues here.
Alright, number four, what is the most difficult form in Taekwondo, in your opinion?
As in the pattern, you mean?
As in the pattern and skill required, etc.
In Taekwondo, the patterns, they're not difficult because each forms were designed so that people can perform it. So there's no difficult and there's no easy forms. So, you understand? Okay.
What is the potential reach of contemporary self-defense in Taekwondo? As in, how does the self-defense that we learn in Taekwondo compare with self-defense learned in other various forms of modern-style martial arts?
Well, the way we do self-defense here at Koryo here, it's a little bit more unique. Typically, Taekwondo as a martial art or as a sport, it does not have self-defense as part of a curriculum. Many instructors will substitute or adding self-defense programs such as Aikido, Hapkido, Jiu-Jitsu to complement the Taekwondo sparring, kicking, and punching. So we practicing those self-defense from Jiu-Jitsu and Aikido and Hapkido. But we also learn the modern methods which many people are aware of, such like MMA, submission holds, and arm bars and locks, joint locks and stuff like that too. How to protect yourself from on the ground as well as standing up. So we are trying to update ourselves, but on the basics level.
All right. Number six, what does Taekwondo mean to you and why?
To me, Taekwondo is my way of life. I grew up with it, so now it's every day. I'm doing it. It's a way of life. It's a way to stay focused and learn how to organize daily tasks.
All right. Number seven, are there any tips you would like to give beginning Taekwondo practitioners?
What kind of tips?
As in, what should they be expecting? What should...
Okay. Well, first, when you're a beginner, when you start practicing any martial arts, your body is not used to the techniques. So you may experience muscle soreness. And that's going to last maybe a couple weeks, a month or two, but don't get discouraged. Keep practicing. Your body will adapt to the new skills and strength.
All right. Number 8. How do you train your senses to be lightning fast, which is what is needed in most competitive martial arts?
You have to learn to relax. That's basically, to be fast, you have to be relaxed.
Number 9. Why did you choose Taekwondo out of the countless forms of hand-to-hand martial arts out there, as in to be the main focus of this dojo?
Well, Taekwondo, I grew up with Taekwondo. Taekwondo is something that I started with. My older brother, my older sisters, they all started in Taekwondo, so I started it. But as I grew up, I studied many other martial arts like Judo, Aikido, Kendo, Tai Chi, many other martial arts, but my main style is Taekwondo still.
So, basically it runs in the family? Would you say that?
Well, I'm the only one that's still active now, doing it. So, yeah, you can say it's run in the family, but I'm the only one that's still doing it.
Okay, number 10. Do you believe Taekwondo is a melting pot for many different forms, and why? As in, are there many different forms that combine to form Taekwondo, or is it a separate form in itself?
Taekwondo is a separate style characteristic in itself. In generally, Taekwondo is very Korean oriented. Korean culture, Korean way of kicking, punching, the way you move. So it's not a mixed martial art type. So it's very unique in its style.
Number 11. There are 5 tenets to Taekwondo. Which stands out to you the most, and why?
Integrity. One must have integrity in this world. Courtesy, you can practice it, but integrity to me is more important. You have to maintain it. You gotta have it. You gotta maintain it. A person without integrity, doesn't matter what you do, you're no good.
And why is it more important than any other tenet besides courtesy?
Because integrity represents a person. Your honor. You know, you keep your word. When you say you're going to do something, you do something. And that's kind of, to me, that's the main thing.
Okay. Number 12. What does the Taekwondo student oath mean to you, and why?
The student oath, that's kind of, that's from the, I kind of picked that out from the Taekwondo Federation's manual or handbook. But the student's oath gives you a series of words to live by, such as be obedient to your parent, respect teachers and seniors, and never be tired of learning. Those are the important value to continue to practice and uphold.
Okay, and number 13. What does Taekwondo exemplify about Korean culture?
Taekwondo, in a way, is very unique. It represents Korean culture in a way of kicking, the way it kicks and moves with the legs, footwork it's very unique to Korean culture. There's no other martial art in the world that's similar to it. You know, there's some that's like, you know, karate style, that are kicking and then punching, but the way the Korean does it is very unique. So it's almost, you know, has its own ways of doing things.
So if you had to choose a certain characteristic about Korean culture that Taekwondo would most, like, you know, exemplify, would it be the spirit? Or
one of the main things that the Korean culture exemplify is courtesy in practice. So Taekwondo practitioner, you know, show respect by bowing to one another at the start and finish.
All right. Number 14. How does one maintain purity of Taekwondo style and be an effective fighter in today's ever-changing world? What balance can one find between these two necessities?
Practice, but while you practice, think of the practical outcome of your practice.
Could you elaborate?
When you practice, for example, all right, for example, to adapt to make it works in this society, for example, Taekwondo has a lot of high kicks. Now you might see people kick straight up, literally vertically straight up. That looks beautiful, but that's not practical. Kicking the person's face is not straight up to the ceiling, right?
Yes.
And the target could be a face, chest, or groin, or knee. So being practical of your choosing of your target that make you useful, that you can choose, and then that's what I mean by being practical. So kicking higher is not always the best. Kicking higher just show your style. When you kick higher, you can kick stronger, lower. That's why Taekwondo people stretch a lot.
Okay. So number 15, would you recommend Taekwondo above any other form? Why or why not?
Recommend Taekwondo over other martial arts?
Over other martial arts, as in, like, what is Taekwondo the best at that other martial arts seeming cannot keep up with, in a sense?
You can't go around recommend because there's no martial art better than another. You understand?
Yes.
It's about the people who practicing martial arts. For example, Bruce Lee had a saying, be aware of a person who practiced one kick 10,000 times. Not the person who practiced 10,000 kick one time each. You understand? So it's not what type, the skill from which Taekwondo give you or other martial arts. It's up to the practitioner to be good at it.
Alright. And number 16, who is your most favorite Taekwondo master / legend, if you could say?
I would say in the US here, it would be Jun Ri. You ever heard of Jun Ri? Jun Ri, you can Google. Jun Ri is known as the father of US Taekwondo, and he's based in Washington, D.C., Northern Virginia area.
Okay. And our last question, number 17. What would you want, as in, what quote would you want to leave this interview by?
Okay, so my quote for this interview: practicing martial arts, imagine yourself as a creek, water in the creek or river. The water must constantly flow, however slow that might be. So some part of the creek water flow faster, some part of the creek or the river water flows slower, but regardless, water needs to continue to flow. When the water stops flowing, it stagnates. That's when things dies. So keep practicing.
Okay.
That's it.
That's it, and I would like to thank my sensei, Master Fung, and thank you very much for taking your time thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule to participate in this interview. I know it means a lot to me, and well,
no problem.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
All right.